let's go. All right. Hey everybody, welcome on into the Big Access Podcast. We're excited to have you today. My name is Brock Benson. I am the Director of Marketing over here at PDK and also the host of the Big Access Podcast. Today's guest is a very cool one. This is an end user who has our system installed at their facility. And the company's name is Perfect Promotions, and we have Joan Charbonneau here with us today to talk to us about why PDK was installed at their facility. So, Joan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Brock. I really am excited about being here.
It's very fun that we get to talk with end users alike on this podcast. And most of the time, we've got dealers here who install our system. We've got integration companies that we work with to blend systems together. We've got PDK employees. But one of my favorite things that we get to do are talk with those people who actually have our system installed at their facility and talk to them about why they like PDK and why they trust PDK to secure their life and their property. And so one of the first things that I want to do, though, is I want to learn a little bit more about Perfect Promotions. Tell me about Perfect Promotions and what you guys are all about.
Well, first, let me say thank you so much. I'm excited to be a part of the podcast. I will not be nearly as technical as any of those other people that you mentioned that are talking about the system and how it works. I just love that it works. And let me tell you, it is fantastic. Perfect Promotions, I'm the CEO and owner of Perfect Promotions. We're a promotional products merchandising agency. So we work with companies like PDK or like your company to build your brand message. And we do it through dimensional items. Sometimes it's as easy as t-shirts and pens and post-it notes. But what we specialize in is really creating a merchandising promotional brand or building your brand and your brand message. We partner with the owners, the CEOs, the marketing teams, and we work directly with them as an extension of the brand team. And we come up with the perfect items to promote the brand and the companies within the budget and the time frame that's given to us. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, here on my side, I do marketing work, and so there's a lot of promotional items that we have to go through as well. Whether that's backdrops for trade shows, whether that's little swag goodies that we give out, all sorts of things like that. And so it's definitely a need that companies have out there. So it's exciting to hear that that's what you guys do and what you're all about, and that you guys trust PDK to protect your facility and all the products that you have. So tell me a little bit more about, why is security important to Perfect Promotions? Why do you need it?
We, well, on so many levels, we just actually moved to the space that we're in. We moved to the new space, and it is part of a business center on a busy highway. And when it came to this space, it's a totally new area from where we were before. And it's safe. However, we're at the end on the business center. It's on the corner of, like I said, a busy highway on the front, which is great for business. But also a very busy, the business center that we're in is also very busy. On the back side of the building, the side of the building, there are no windows at all. And so suddenly we were going to be using the back door. That's where we're parking. We're going to be using the back door. Some of us get in early, not me. Some of the women get in early around 7 and they leave earlier in the day. I'm one of them that leaves later, and it's dark out. And the fidgeting with the key and the door really wasn't a great idea. We really wanted a very easy, secure system that everybody felt confident with. It was easy to get in and out, but also really secure for us in the back parking lot. Now, we haven't had any security issues, but it was one of the things that was really, really important to me to really take care of the team and make sure everybody felt confident and secure.
Yeah, that's great. And so talk to me a little bit more about how you went about choosing a dealer. So we were actually referred to you from A-TEC Security. So Laura Reese out there with A-TEC, she is fantastic. She was actually on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. So if you want to listen to that, make sure you go back and listen to that. But she was telling me about this installation that she did with you guys and how much she loved it. And I guess a lot of that is because of the great relationship that you have with her. But tell me why you chose to work with a professional dealer like A-TEC to make sure that the facility was secured properly.
So first off, they're amazing. Laura and Mike was who I first met with.
Okay. Mike's a great guy as well.
Oh my gosh, he's fab. So came and walked through the building. We walked through the front. We walked through the back. There's actually an additional door. So he really was, and we walked around and really was instrumental in advising me on really what he felt like was the most appropriate system for us to put in. I don't need the top of the line this, and I didn't need the bottom level this. It was kind of that really felt confident with what he had suggested. And it was just that feeling of, I knew that, they were just taking care of me. He knew exactly how to protect us and what kind of system was going to work for us. We have a doorbell in the back that was easy because our deliveries come through. And so we wanted to, like the UPS, the FedEx, all of those players that come to the back, there was just these little tweaks that we needed to make, and they had all of the right solutions and suggestions for us outside of the PDK system, right? It was additional to that. Their service is over the top, white glove, top notch, fantastic service.
And that's
so friendly.
Yeah, very, very much so, right? Well, and that's the reason why we always recommend going with, a professional certified installer instead of some of these DIY solutions, because you can make it where everything works together. These guys are professionals in their field. They go out there. They know exactly what's going to be a good fit for every opening that's out there, because no two doors are alike. There's so many different doors that are out there that have different solutions and different needs. And then there's so many different, security options, whether that be like security cameras, whether that be like doorbells, like you're saying, that you need to have all tied together to be able to create a full secure platform for you. And so that's why we're always recommending going with a dealer to be able to make sure that the system works, and if there's ever anything wrong, you have somebody who you can easily turn to be able to come out and troubleshoot the system and be able to figure out what's going wrong and fix it right then and there. So that's really important. But having that knowledge to really make sure that you are getting the most bang for your buck and being fully secured is always important.
It's so important for me. I needed to take this off my plate. This isn't my wheelhouse, right? And to go to Walmart and get a Ring doorbell, yeah, that might have worked, but then it was going to be the install, and then it was on us to figure out and manage, and that wasn't even an option for us. I needed to make sure that my team was going to feel confident and secure, and that it was all going to be really handled by somebody else, that this was their wheelhouse, right? I mean, this is not mine, and I'm not going to pretend that it is. This wasn't something to go cheap on. And I'll tell you, actually, so we're in Missouri, and we get some high winds. So I think it was within the first week or 2 weeks, just so happened we had a really windy day, and one of the girls opened the back door and it swung wide open. She was fine. But
well, that's good.
It kind of jimmied the door a little bit. So then when we were doing the swipe and trying to get in, it wasn't working. So I called Laura, and immediately Mike knew exactly what needed to be done, was there here at our office it was that day, and fixed it. And it was literally pretty easy because it was the door that wasn't working. It wasn't the system that wasn't working, but he figured it out instantly. Met with our manager of our property manager.
Mm-hmm.
We had it fixed instantly. Having that, it wasn't on my plate. We made a phone call. Yeah. They took care of it. I mean, I don't know why you would ever go any other route, because guess what? I have a lot more to do than figuring out how to make the back door work, close, lock, unlock easily.
Right. You're very busy in other facets, right? It's one less thing for you to worry about. You can focus more on growing your business than worrying about whether or not a door's working correctly.
Right. And they're the perfect partner for us. Super responsive, answered any questions that we had. And we're just, with the slight little, within the first couple of weeks that we moved into the space, needed to come right back out, and we're instantly right back out. So it's easy. The platform too is super easy. He sat down with me and walked me through how to do the little keys for everyone. And I wrote down notes, and then hired somebody a month and a half later, and had forgotten how to do it. So guess who got a call? Laura. Hi. How do I do this again? So they're just, that's what I mean about top-notch customer service. It doesn't cost me anything extra just to pick up the phone and call them, and they're going to manage it and take care of it. It's just amazing. And to have that, perfect. for me, it just is not only the comfort of the security that we have, but also for the customer service that it's just taken care of and managed is really, it's worth it.
That's good. So I want to talk a little bit more about the experience using PDK specifically. So you were saying that you've got the situations where sounds like you've got a couple of doors that have PDK on it, and then you go ahead and you swipe your badges. You've got your door schedules created and whatnot. But what is the management experience like managing the system?
It manages. So, for example, they walked me through the initial setting all of that up, and really there is nothing else to do unless there is something, for me, when I've hired, like I said, I've hired a few additional people. It was remembering how to create their key swipes. And Laura walked me through that very quickly. But really, I mean, it is all set up and there's no worry. Everything is done. Now, if somebody, like, for example, we have a cleaning service that has a key swipe. If they switched over people, right? If there was a new person that they used, I could so easily log into the system, shut that key swipe down so they could never use it again. Yeah. I know exactly when they come and go. So they had invoiced me for a time that I didn't realize that they were there. And instead of calling them saying, oh, I didn't, because they come after hours, I didn't realize that you cleaned that day, I simply went into the system and looked it up, and I saw that, oh, they did. They came at, 6:15 and they left at 8:10 or whatever it was. It is so easy and convenient, but it really is just kind of out of sight, out of mind. Unless I need it, it just manages and takes care of itself.
Well, that's what we're all about here, right? We want to make sure that it's a system that is fully functional at all times, working, and making sure that you feel confident that it is doing what you need it to do. And so that's great. But then in the situation where you do have to log in and go do something, we want to make sure that it's intuitive and simple enough that you can go through and easily understand where you need to go to do what you need to do.
So easy. I mean, intuitive it is. Technology. My husband, thank goodness I have teenagers because they show me how to use most everything in my house. It's not my gig, right?
Yeah.
It's not something that it comes easy to me. So to say that it's intuitive, it really, really is, even for somebody like me. It's super easy. And the confidence that I have in it makes me feel really good.
That's awesome. Well, Joan, we are just about out of time today, but I do want to make sure that you go ahead and put out your info. How do people get a hold of you? Because we do have a lot of dealer partners who listen to this podcast who might be looking for a new source to get, their team some new t-shirts or some branding material. So how would somebody reach out to you to learn more?
Oh, thanks so much. So I think easiest is to go to our website. It is perfectpromo.net. You also can email me directly, joan@perfectpromo.net, and we'll take care of you. We have some fantastic reps here that love getting into the business and understanding what it is that you do and what you need and what your budget is and really taking care of you. We are the swag girls. We'll take care of you and make sure you look good.
Nice. I like it. The swag girls. That's awesome. Hashtag swag girls. Put that out there. Awesome. Well, hey, thank you for joining us today on the Big Access Podcast. This has been a fantastic conversation. And, it's been something that I have loved hearing, and our listeners are going to love as well. For those of you who are listening to this podcast, make sure you subscribe to it, give it a 5-star rating, and then also make sure to let us know if there's anything educational that you guys are specifically looking to learn about. But anyways, thank you guys for jumping on the podcast today, and we will go ahead and talk to you later.